How do you describe what happened from your current point of view?
Maybe he should have shown me that there really is something more so that I could search and so that I could share. The questions weren't in my head. I knew I was going to Bulgaria.
That's it.
How will I do it? That's it. I'll just go with the flow. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. It's not specific like I imagined or said, this is exactly how it's going to be. No, I know what I want.
So in this dreamlike meeting,
After the communication,
she appeared to you,
yes,
you exchanged some information personal,
that's right.
and then they appeared.
Eyes and the silhouette of a person?
And who was that person? Do you know him?
No. Actually, I met him after I moved to Germany.
Wow.
Yes. While I'm praying, I feel a light behind me. That love I felt then, which is actually spoken of in all the wise books, not just the Bible. It really exists. It truly is.
You know, in the past year, I've had the honor of talking to many ladies, partly because they make up the majority of the people who watch us, for which I thank you. And what you're saying is very hard to achieve for most ladies. To learn to let go, because then panic sets in, then I don't know what's going to happen to me, then chaos comes.
Yes, that's what we think.
And how is it? This season is 3 international. All our guests come and travel many kilometers to be with us, for which we can truly be very grateful. This is a great honor and respect. Today's guest comes from Germany, from a village near Lovech, actually in Bulgaria, but originally from Germany. He doesn't live in Bulgaria, although the connection is always there. Irina Angelova, welcome to Explorers of Reality. Before I give you the floor, I want to thank you for agreeing to come and for being right on time, exactly according to German standards. We were actually late and I apologize, but I'd like to start by asking you about that. Why did you agree to take part in our humble show?
So it can be shared. As much as the more people share about their experience, the more we will move forward without fear, the more people will awaken.
Very strong start. It left me speechless. You are full of experiences just like us, and people know it. Every single guest. We don't focus so much here on what their job is, what their status in society is, but rather on what's inside their heart, what we all experience and how we can speak a common language that goes beyond boundaries. Because haven't you noticed, when a person is open, with an open mind, and big questions are brought to the table like, what lies beyond? Why are we here? The invisible worlds. Suddenly, the people who are more sensitive automatically find each other and start speaking the same language. We forget people's jobs, origins, and acquaintances, and in doing so, we rediscover ourselves. That's part of the magic in Reality Explorers and everything that we do. Where does this drive for people to awaken come from? Where does this feeling and sense of togetherness come from? How do you feel it within yourself that the right moment has come? or that now is simply your moment?
No. In general, that the awakening has begun. It doesn't depend on us. We as people can only try to adapt to reach it. I'm sure you've also read or seen that the Earth's vibrations are constantly increasing, they're rising, and whether we want it or not, we have to adapt.
When did these realizations start for you? Actually, how long have you been in Germany?
It's been 14 years already.
14 years.
Yes,
Why did you leave?
because I turned my back on the country that is like a mother to me, but treated me like a stepmother.
Mm.
Maybe I was offended, I don't know. And I was saying, well, that's it.
He left.
I left, but not with conviction. I'm leaving, I'm never coming back. Or I'm leaving and, for example, I'll make some money and come back. No, I had left everything open, whatever happens, however I feel it. And so 14 years.
When did your first, let's call them philosophical searches appear about the idea that the world is not just what is presented to us? Who was the first? Did you have such a first spark that ignited all of this? Or did everything just happen as a whole? Somehow it just revealed itself.
Well, the most tangible one is after the pandemic, but actually before I left, when I was pregnant, I had this kind of doubts, fears, and with a friend, I talked late at night exactly about this topic. Will I be able to handle it now? You know, alone with the child,
Of course.
and so on.
You were looking for some support and understanding.
Yes, just to hear something I could hold on to. And she told me, we talked. She also shared some personal things with me and said, have you ever heard about the movie The Secret? I said, no. At that time, it wasn't even in my
Field of vision.
No. She said, find it, this and that, find it and watch it. You absolutely have to watch it. I said, okay, fine. Why not? I watched it. I don't know how many times. I found it, watched it several times, and I understood every single thing. I mean, it wasn't,
He was remembering it as if,
yeah, like over and over again. And I remember it. And I said to myself, well, okay, what's the problem? I'll try.
what impressed you the most about the movie The Secret? What was it that struck you the most?
That you have to let things happen.
You know, over the past year, I've had the honor of talking to many ladies simply because they make up the majority of our viewers, for which I thank you. And what you're saying is very hard to achieve for most ladies. To learn to let go, because then panic sets in, then I don't know what's going to happen to me, then chaos comes.
Yes, that's what we think.
You how? And how is it?
That chaos is coming. There is no chaos. Things are set up just so they should be. Everything is in its place.
Hmm.
You know, there are people who, for example, you see now like at their desk and so on,
Yes.
and it's like paper and so on all over the desk. But they know what it is, where and why it is.
I'm one of those people.
Yes, that's it. From the outside, it seems chaotic.
Absolutely.
For this person, it's not chaos, but their order.
And how do we trust, or rather, allow ourselves to trust our life or the choice we've made? That even though we can't see what's coming ahead, it will work out, it will be okay, and our biggest fears won't come true.
This is how we overcome our fears. Actually, when you let things happen, you let go of your fears, you let go of the imaginary control. In this sense, we don't have the control that our ego, for better or worse, creates the illusion that we have control over things.
Tell me about some of your experiences that add to all these realizations. Whichever you want, of course. After the movie The Secret, or before that, after you watched it.
After I watched it, actually, I said to myself, okay, I understand. I'll try to see how things work, just like that.
And what happened then? Did you manage to see right away how some of the things work?
No, right away, it never happens. Right away, you can't. And that's the thing. The good thing, as they say, is that you have time. And that's a good thing that your thoughts don't come true right away because you have time to reconsider what you really want to feel in your heart. But that's how actually I ended up going to Germany. Through this, I didn't know how exactly or where exactly. I just knew that I wanted to go to Germany. I hadn't even planned how I'd manage or what would happen. For example, I was even looking, okay, I graduated, I know the language. Okay, maybe I'll be able to study something and at the same time, my daughter to know. There are restrictions, though, when you study there during working hours and so on. I've had such thoughts. But at one point, from acquaintances, actually, I got an offer from someone who was already there. Even at the company where he works, he offered me to start trying and so on. And actually, that's how things happened without
pressure.
Without pressure, yes.
Without pressure.
And without that, no, at any cost, it has to be this way. No, I just knew it would be there.
And what changes the most, rather, when a person realizes the idea of how powerful our thoughts are and how they affect matter?
For example, I'm at work and something isn't going well.
Yes.
As usual, there's something. I'm anchored in this thing, for example. There just comes a moment when I say to myself, actually, why am I stressing myself out? Anyway, the knot will untie itself when it's time for it to untie. I set it aside, letting go of control again.
Yes, that's why it's one of the main principles.
Yes. Which applies to absolutely everything. Yes.
And it's as if every day we're put to a new test. Whether we're enough, not enough. Observant, whether of ourselves, about control, and whether we want in some way to interfere in the fate of others, to control their destiny.
Yes.
How do you deal with these people, with this type of people who try to interfere in your destiny?
Do you know what I usually do? I say, okay, and I do what I feel is right.
You have an experience related to your grandmother. Do you want to tell us about it? I believe this will help our viewers a lot.
I dream, and actually, I've always dreamed a lot, and I used to remember a big part of my dreams, but lately, actually, every night, I've reached the point where I remember every single dream, but I write them down and so on. I mean, I've worked on these with my grandma. Actually, this was before I left. And I have not only with my grandmother, I also have an experience with my grandfather some time ago and also with my father. But this, for me, these are encounters. They are not dreams, but encounters.
Encounters?
Yes. With my grandma, it was like that. She was a presence. And actually, what we exchanged as information with her, then suddenly eyes appeared, human eyes, which I had never seen before until that moment.
That is, in this dream encounter,
Yes. After communicating with her.
she appeared to you, you exchanged some information, personal.
Exactly.
And then they appeared.
Eyes in the silhouette of a person.
And who was that person? Do you know him?
No. Actually, I met him after I moved to Germany.
Wow.
Yes. At first, I didn't even. When we met, I didn't think about or remember that at all. But soon after that, actually, after another meeting, I just realized it at one point. Wait a minute. And the feeling was still there. It's like I know him. I do know him, right? But I haven't seen him. He's at actually thousands of kilometers away from me. Until this moment when, before I met him.
Did you believe it back then?
How could I have believed it? Exactly. What was there to believe?
Before it happened?
Before it happened.
Of the dream, when you wake up?
No, I knew that it meant there was something would happen, or in a sense, what does it mean to believe? Mm-hmm. Yes?
At the meeting, did you remember the dream?
No, I didn't at the meeting.
Later, after some time, I remembered.
Yes, but soon after that. Actually, but there was, when I first met him, there was this feeling as if we knew each other, as if we had always known each other. Yes.
It's like you grew up with him.
With him?
Yes.
Well, he's still my partner.
How do you interpret your dreams, and how would you define dreams? What are they?
Some, as I mentioned, are meetings. Others are directions. That's basically it. That's how I see them. That's how I interpret them.
How do you interpret them? How does something happen to you, and how do we remember it?
Actually, this has been mentioned in your episodes and it works. I also want to tell people that.
Which one? Which is it?
The recording, the analysis, but not in those universal dream books and so on. And it's really important to track the feeling we have in our dreams.
Yes, and to be honest,
Yes, mostly.
is this the most vivid dream you remember like this? That has become like a kind of prediction, a kind of serious guidance?
No, actually, I have more or less, let's say, a recent kind of prediction or recent ones. That's relative, you know? So this is before my father passed away. And it's actually quite a long period. Before that, I used to dream about churches and in different scenarios, two very vivid, intense dreams. Churches, and there were nuns, icons. And all this time, you know, I'm telling myself, okay, there's something is going to happen. There's something, I don't know exactly. I can't find the meaning exactly in this thing. I don't know. I even remember talking to my friend and she said, hurry up. I was in Germany at the time. Find a way to go to church. Even if it's not, maybe to calm yourself down and so on. Maybe
That will work?
it will work. Light a candle and everything. Hopefully it will pass, and maybe it's just a period of some inner stress or something like that. I told myself, fine, I'll try. That was after the first dream, though, which was very vivid. I mean, I could feel inside that there was something that was going to happen. I just have to find
The connection, the meaning.
the connection, yes, the meaning. And I started to ask myself actually the questions of what churches mean to me, but I felt it too personally and somehow I couldn't find the answer. I went to church, actually 60 kilometers away. I went to church, an Orthodox church. I went, I lit a candle. Really deep inside, like
You felt relieved?
I felt relieved, yes, but after some time, not long, let's say a few days later, the next dream. But we go as if it's some kind of cathedral.
Again, a temple?
Again, a temple, but this time it's Catholic. I mean, a Catholic church.
Yes.
A nun inside, you know, mixed icons, things like that. Some things I don't know. At one point, I go out and it's with the nun I'm talking to. We're talking about something. I go out of the temple itself, and there are some paths like that, and you get to a forest, but we're high up, and actually, you can see mountains. And sunrise, and I wake up, and it's a strange feeling. And now there's something is going to happen. Something, yeah. It's not just that I'm dreaming these things for no reason. And so after a while, I got a call that my father, his health is not good. And that's how it all started. And actually, that's when I said to myself, well, that was it. The dreams just wanted to prepare me for this.
How do you explain this preparation? Why does it exist, if that's the case? Is it to prepare us to go through more easily what will inevitably happen, or to try to do something?
No, to make it easier. What must happen will happen. You also know that even if we want something, for example, at the moment, we really want it a lot, it has to happen exactly the way we imagine it. We desperately want it. We try everything, but something always stops us. It's not our thing.
You talk so freely about dreams and what you dream inside, in detail and in general, as if it's very natural for you to reflect when there are messages like that. But can we just pause for a moment and ask, how does a person even get to that place, to start thinking about what they dream, to remember it and carry it with them, to seek symbolism and meaning in these worlds?
The first thing is, I think there are people who still say, I don't dream. Actually, there are no such people. Every living person dreams. And actually, I can't and really shouldn't. For example, my alarm rings, and a lot of people, for example, jump up, get up, and that's it. They're already awake, in quotes. Yes, for me, actually, you're not really awake yet. Anyway,
Today is the day of the National Awakeners, by the way, but I'll ask something about that in a moment. Go ahead.
yes, okay. So I need time, and it's not just me, my body itself needs it. Demands it from me.
I mean, when you say time, what do you mean?
For example, my alarm goes off, but
You're okay to turn it off, right? And yeah, you keep snoozing.
yeah, I mean, I turn it off. I know I've turned it off. I know it's time.
You realize it, yeah.
I realize it yet to get up from sleep, but I close my eyes and keep going. So I'm in the phase, and from there I relax and start while I eat.
The half asleep.
I relax as I enter the half asleep phase, and it begins. While not always, it's not like that every time, but most of the time it is. Actually, I relax, I dream there, I finish whatever I have to finish, and so on, and I wake up, the notebook and the pen
Next to you.
next to me, or a pencil. Usually I write it down, everything that comes to me at that exact moment, and at the same time I use that time when I'm writing it down for my body itself to wake up.
Uh-huh. And why does someone need to have a notebook and write down their dreams?
They could have a phone
Why would anyone bother writing down their dreams?
because you forget them.
And why shouldn't I forget them?
Because you can get a lot of information from them that you might need.
What do I need this information for the most? If I know my life, I like the people I'm with, I'm fine like this, I'm not looking for a change, the salary I'm getting is more or less okay.
And head first, as they say, as the grandmothers say, head first. If you think so, go against the train. It's your choice.
I'm really glad you're sharing this because that's one of the main messages I've been trying to convey for so many years. To reach people and to spread that everything at its core, I'm often asked, okay, is it really that simple?
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of choice,
Yes.
a matter of focus, a matter of decision.
Yes.
Today is the day of the National Enlighteners, officially in Bulgaria, but we also talk about the awakened person. How would you describe this person? A moment ago you made a joke. Are we awake right now? And if not, what do you think it takes for a person to be awake? How do you say awake and awakened in German?
Wach.
Wach.
What does it mean to be awake? To be, I think, means being present. And to observe. What does it mean to observe? I think you set your ego aside.
Then who is observing if we put the ego in the background?
The spirit.
And then what happens? How does the experience feel?
Here and now.
Almost indescribable. In other words, the awakened person is the observer. Then he taps into the broader part of himself through his consciousness, and it starts to deal cards from the deck that are invisible to us, basically. Yes. What do you do to be more present? How do you bring yourself into the here and now, the real here and now, when you're feeling distracted?
I take breaks. When I really feel the moment, even if I'm at work, for example, I just say things directly, like I go to the bathroom and I make my own time, my 5 minutes, when I feel that I need them.
And what do you do in those 5 minutes? Different things. Is there a technique you've mastered that works for you?
Well, actually, I try to relax. Let's say to do a short meditation so people can understand me. Breathing, just to get into my own rhythm.
Well said, well said. At the beginning, you said that the main reason you agreed to participate is to share. What is that thing your heart wants to share? And maybe make it even more understandable for everyone who, on one hand, has experienced loss and on the other hand, is still searching for themselves and trying to find exactly where their place is.
Lyubov. That's what I'll say. The real key to everything is love. And I'm not talking about that pompous kind of love. As it's often used in love for every single person actually really goes through first love for yourself. Once you learn to love yourself, but that pure love, I'm not talking about selfishness and putting myself first. Me. No, a quiet kind of love. After that, it just happens. It's like a river flowing. And every single person, even the grumpiest example you meet. And
What do you do with it? Practically, how does this thing happen?
I'll tell you now soon.
Yes, tell me.
A few days ago, regarding my trip here, I was looking for a way how I would get to you. Yes, and actually, I'm walking around. I go to the office of a bus company and I see it's closed. A little note, a phone number, or you can buy online. Yes, but I check online, nothing works. Okay, I've taken a picture of it. I grab it, I dial the number that's there. And a woman, but she was so grumpy. I don't know why the woman was so grumpy. I have no idea, but she was really grumpy and standoffish, really standoffish. So I say this and that.
Nothing against her, but she was standoffish.
She really was standoffish. Yeah, I said the same thing and she goes, no. I said, okay, take care. The moment I said take, she hung up on me. I was about to say care. I finished my sentence, even though she didn't let me finish it. I smiled and said, all right, just go on now. We'll see what happens later. That's a kind of love. I could have gotten into that negative energy, so to speak. I could have said, oh, how rude these people are.
It's very easy. In general, it's very easy for us to slip into negativity. If you think about it without stopping yourself, you just get carried away by the flow and immediately, oh, look at that woman. Ooh.
Yes. Maybe it's due to patience. I'm not sure. Before, when I was younger, not that I'm, but before, what was it called?
Which one?
It's like a match is struck and I'm already.
And you explode.
Yes.
Rice.
Yes.
You light it up and let's go.
And that's it. It can also burn quickly, but the main thing is ignition. No, that's gone now. It's really very hard for a person to get me out of my tracks.
What was the reason to
Be like that. I think it's not the patience and not the misunderstanding.
But what provokes you to become more patient? What a certain person or a certain realization, a certain experience?
And realization and experience, I mean, they are very a mix, let's say, of events and analysis searching. Actually, it started with maybe like with every woman, I'm not sure, I don't know. It started with when I gave birth, little by little, when I gave birth to my daughter.
What year did this happen?
After 2008?
After 2008?
Yes. And a little less. When you have a child, you have to learn.
It's like everything starts from the beginning.
Yes. And then you realize that you are not just yourself.
All of this is really cool and beautiful as an awareness. And even practically, even if we think about how we react to certain situations, but how do we integrate it? Everyone else around us, how do we show them this position of ours, this way of thinking? Do we just stand and explain it to them and create a beautiful image for them?
No, everything is visual, actually. When you do these things, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, they will see and they will hear. For everyone else, this will stay in some way hidden.
There is always a deeper layer of reality, which for the more primitive, let's call them, and limited reactions remains hidden. Actually, what you were saying is a wonderful quote from Jesus. Let the one who has ears to hear, eyes to see. Are you religious? Earlier, you mentioned dreams about churches as if you were being given a sign, but you don't seem very impressed.
What does being religious mean? I get the impression that, how should I put it? No, it's kind of modern to say, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm religious, period.
That is, someone defines themselves.
Yes, and for example, this is not Christian, this is not church related. This is...
Do you mean this action or this teaching?
Rather the action. I mean, it's left... I think the wrong impression is left that now, for example, we might fight at home, I don't know, beat each other up and so on, but then we go to church, want to light a candle and so on, or to a service, and that fixes everything. Everything.
It clears it up right away.
Yes. No, not in that sense. And actually, since I was little, you don't need to go to church. Yes, if you feel that need, of course, and you're a Christian, obviously, but not because of that. The showiness, or at least it used to be like that. The church telling you this is right, you have to do it this way because otherwise you're not a Christian or you're constantly sinful. It's very clear. Isn't it said
Which one?
that people are sinful one way or another?
Yes, we are all sinners in this world.
Absolutely.
We even have songs about that.
Yes. That's just my observation, which soon.
Don't you think, sorry for interrupting your good thoughts, but don't you think that these are some definitions, limitations, dogmas that have been thrown around, and we, even unconsciously by repeating them, are the only ones maintaining them instead of looking into what they really are, what their essence is?
Exactly. But I would say that on one hand, and God's servants before, on one hand, let's say, haven't done their job properly. Because all these things haven't been explained to us in a way that people can understand and not feel guilty about something. Here lately, especially in Bulgaria, I've noticed that there are young clergymen who do not rule out. For example, if it was from before this podcast here, and Choco would be condemned.
That's right.
He is crossed out in every possible way.
Even before he has started.
Absolutely. But it's not like that anymore. For some time now, I've noticed that clergy and even high-ranking ones are speaking about the Bible, Christ, and now they include everyone. And even explain some things with the themes that you are leading.
What do you think is the reason for that?
The awakening. The more.
Yes, Mechupu.
Yes.
But what do you think this world will look like once it goes through its transition? What else do you think needs to happen within all of us, in the reality that surrounds us? So you wake up and say, yeah, that's it.
Love. It's the answer to everything. You know, I'm telling you, I actually told you all about my experience when I was very little with Christ. What I felt back then.
Can you tell us about it again? Because people haven't heard it. You've told us, but you haven't told the people.
Yes. So I was about 5 or 6 years old, something like that, in the village. And as it was back then, actually, my parents were getting ready there for the weekend, and my parents were coming. I was in the village with my grandma and grandpa to distill rakia.
All right.
They prepare themselves from the night before. But everything has to be prepared, right? Big containers, you know, for where the ready rakia will be poured and so on. Everything must be placed directly in front of the door so it can open. And so they can go to the still and make their material. All right, I get the task because I always... In things, yes. I get the task that I have to move those canisters with all the caps and so on from one place to another. So one cap is missing. I don't know where it is. Huge stress. My parents are going to scold me. It's a great cap. I can't find it. I'm turning the whole house upside down, or more precisely, the whole yard, because they were outside. Well, I'm little and it's getting late. It's time to go to bed. Anyway, the cap in question can't be found. And what am I going to do now? My parents are going to scold me. I'm waiting for Grandma and Grandpa to fall asleep. We're in a shared room that's separated by a glass door.
All right.
I'm waiting for them to fall asleep too. I get out of my bed and take a small pocket icon of the Virgin Mary with the child, which I had received a little earlier from a vacation. With Grandma and Grandpa in Hisaria from a kind lady who gave it to me. I was 5 years old. I had no idea about Christ or the icon or anything like that. I just remember that the nice lady told me, when something happens, if you're worried or something like that, pray to this icon and everything will be fine. Of course, I took advantage of it. I would stand in front of the icon, wait for my grandma and grandpa, and then stand and pray somehow. At that moment, I'm in front of the icon praying. I feel light from behind. Behind me, I feel light. I turn around and I see from above a light coming and the image of Jesus. I hadn't seen him until before that. Actually, light, love, peace, and the communication was actually not specific words, more like telepathic. He just told me that everything would be fine, my parents wouldn't scold me, and that he would be with me. What will happen to me? After that, so to speak, the light pulled away. I mean, it hid, and that was it. My grandma and grandpa weren't awake. It's like, and the door itself that separated us was just there. I mean, it's in the middle. I have no idea where in the room from above or which window, something like that. He appeared.
How do you describe what happened to you from your current point of view?
Maybe I should have to show me that there really is something more, so that I can search and so I can share, so I can search what is this. And I really, honestly, I thought, okay, probably even at the beginning, already in the awareness and so on. Back then, when I was little, actually, I didn't share this with anyone. I only shared it with my mom, who actually didn't say that's not true. What? On the contrary, and as a medical professional, I mean, actually, on the contrary, she encouraged me, this and that. Yes. I started asking her questions. But also the conviction, actually, that God, the universe, no matter what you call it, however you want.
How do you call it? What's your feeling?
God. It's in every one of us, And that love I felt back then, the one they're actually talking about in all the wise books, not just in the Bible, it exists. It really is.
What did you focus on when you were a teenager?
Rebellion? To turn everything upside down.
Everything, curiosity, experiments.
Yes, I was interested. Actually, I was fascinated by literature, philosophy. I was doing well there, but at the same time, I had also turned quite a bit towards material things now, yes.
To get it for yourself, yes.
To get it for myself.
And when did you think about the other part again?
Well, when I got pregnant, I think that was the slap, the first slap, a big slap.
Why a big slap?
Well, just like that, to wake myself up to see, yes, I have to make a choice. To see if I will turn around and I won't focus on material things as much.
And
And well, I turned around, yes. I started making different decisions. Yes.
and how did you get, or do you still get that dose of the immaterial? Through what? How do you get it?
By watching your videos. No.
That's part of the process, thanks.
And that's a part. Yes, no, it really is like that. But the meditations and dreams, I just pay attention to my inner world now, but I don't shut it off. That doesn't mean to shut ourselves off.
To isolate ourselves?
To isolate ourselves, yes.
When did you first come across something we had done?
Well, back in pretty much at the very beginning, actually, at the very beginning, your beginning. Valleto wasn't at all mentioned.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, even with the first videos, and actually, it was very interesting. Can I mention it?
Go ahead.
Lashara from him, and I was following him, you know? And he also published a few books. And in one of his books, I think it's like a gift. I studied the universe and began reading about it. And I started thinking, this is just for me. Nearly every page. Oh, really? Oh, really? Well, yes, but I've already read this, but I know this. And I keep going, and somehow it made me want more and more and more. And at the same time, I started to look for this topic. Yes. And then you appeared in this search, and I thought, this guy's very nice. He says good things. It really matches my worldview. Let's see where this leads.
Yes. When a person sits down to think about their life, when they find a way to get out of the everyday routine, out of what constantly surrounds them, which is very easy to solve, so to speak. A problem comes up, even if it's a bit bigger. It can be fixed. The car, the house, the apartment, it doesn't matter. When we give ourselves this space, this permission, just like today and now, and we lose our words, what comes to your mind as a thought? What does a person who is present in the moment say to themselves? Do they even say anything? Or are they just busy being present?
Why do we always have to say something? To tell ourselves, to tell others? And what about silence?
I think it's very useful for all of us to find silence as a part of our daily lives, to use it as a natural tool. Exactly what you're telling me happened to me today. We were traveling, we had a long journey to get here, and I felt it was right just this time not to focus on the music playing in the car, on the surroundings, on the conversation I could have, just to allow myself to be quiet.
Yes, not to think about it.
Don't think about it. Then what is born when we use silence?
Calmness, a wave, but not a stormy one, those gentle ripples.
A gentle touch.
The breeze. Yes, the breeze.
It really has a very calming effect. Suddenly you come back again as if you've been asleep until now. That's how it feels, at least from my point of view.
Yes, from mine too.
Many people who visit us here share about their way of coping with reality, with what surrounds them. Some give ready-made recipes that work for them but not for others, while others just let things happen. Lately, I've made an even deeper effort to read very carefully what people leave as comments under each show. And do you know what stands out? What can you always take from all the comments and point out? And for it to be valid and true for everyone?
What?
Am I on the right track? What do you think about this? What does philosophy say? It depends on which one?
It depends on which one, yes.
Nothing, the more the better.
Yes. This question, anyway, each of us will ask ourselves at some point. But I can't say yet if I'm on the right path. But I don't even think about it. For me, it's important that if things are happening the way they are happening and they are flowing, that means I'm on the right path. There isn't a recipe, in my opinion.
Where does our doubt about being on the right path come from?
Fear.
Fear of what?
Whether we're doing the right thing.
What do you think? What can each person do to reconsider the word right without giving a recipe, but in your opinion, what can we do? Because it's ingrained in us, it's like a must.
Yes, it's like a must.
The obligation to decide who is right, who is wrong, who is good, who is bad, who is fat, who is thin.
We can't know who should and shouldn't. That's a little... Maybe we should think exactly about the fact that our point of view is never the only one and it's plausible. There are many others just like us, all of us, all of us. We can't just suddenly say, for example, I say, I am spiritual. What does that mean? I am good. What does that mean? But I won't say, well, I'm not very good. For example, if I've done something.
I'm not doing well.
Yes. We all have. Just like in the East, yin and yang, the positive and the negative. We are both good and bad. For example, one of my actions towards you, you might perceive it as something good, something positive, that I did something for you. But for instance, Valeto might not see it that way. It's very relative.
Tell me about your feelings, about the idea we've been talking about, that we create our own reality with our thoughts, that everything around us is energy and it turns into matter, based on the choices we make and the collapsing of the waves, so to speak, from the multitude of possibilities, suddenly everything comes together into a single world. How do you resonate with this idea? Do you see it that way?
Yes, I definitely see it, and it just happens. For example, when my father got sick, then I'm 2,000 kilometers away. It's clear I have to do something, or rather, have to again. I want to do something. I'm not waiting for the right moment. So, how am I going to get through this? The first thing was, how am I going to get through these 2,000 kilometers? At the same time, I was on sick leave because I was ill. We get the call during the week. I don't know how my boss will react. He's within his rights to say,
Where?
yes. But the questions weren't in my head. I knew I was going to Bulgaria. How I would do it, that's it. I just went with the flow. How I would do it, I don't know. I don't care. I only know the final destination. And it's not specific. I didn't imagine it. I didn't say that's exactly how it will be. No. I know what I want. And that's actually how it happened. One by one, like a wheel or a ball of yarn that you've let roll down the hill. And it just keeps rolling, 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 rolling until the moment comes when it has to stop.
Let's not force a specific result.
Exactly. No specifics.
And did you actually manage to get home?
Yes. I managed to get home. Now I have to say I'm really glad that I still have friends and neighbors who helped me. Actually, without me even asking, I didn't ask any questions. I mean, I didn't have to beg for help.
Yes.
No, it all just happened. It all just happened.
Do you feel grateful to them?
Enormous.
How do we learn to be more grateful to others?
I don't think you can learn that. But if we really try to have real love inside ourselves and to accept the other person just as they are, not to distort our perception according to our own desires about him, whether he's a friend or not, no matter what our relationship is, then our perception also changes. And gratitude actually comes on its own.
Because we hold it inside us.
That's right.
So you agree that we rather reveal it than learn it?
Yes.
Yes, thank you for confirming.
You said it well.
If it existed, which we know it doesn't, if it did, let's imagine a guide, a manual for the awakening of humanity in the present time we live in, not for the 16th century. What would this manual absolutely have to include, in quotes, should it contain?
I actually think that the manuals, they exist. For millennia, they are written. And
What pops up for you?
when we look at ancient Egypt, when we look at some gospels that have been unofficially recognized, when we look at some prophets, what they have also shared, specifically, I don't think that I'm that big to name. I mean, everyone really for themselves can find what resonates with them the most, what can open them up.
What resonates with you most at this moment?
Silence. To be ordinary. Love and togetherness. These are the things that come to my mind.
Traditionally, at the end of our conversations, which I personally believe have no beginning or end and are endless, in this form, we decided to include some questions as a challenge for each guest. You did very well with that. The idea is to answer with one sentence. So, let's try. This is like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We're playing Should We Play?
Yes.
She's the first person you know who's good at this game.
There are no guaranteed sums. There's nothing. Look at our game. If there was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but in the Reality Explorers version, it would start like this. There are no guaranteed sums.
No.
There are no specific lifelines that can help you. There are, but it's not clear if they'll help you.
I'm making them up.
There are only choices.
Yes.
And the prize isn't 100,000, but a whole lifetime. In that sense, what is life, Irina?
A journey.
And which is the right path?
Every single one.
And where do we come from?
Where we're going.
And where are we going?
To the stars.
And why are we here?
To explore.
Who are we really?
We
A bow and thank you
thank you too.
for this wonderful participation and for the different perspective that through specific words and the pauses and the use of silence, which you demonstrated to us and reminded each one of us, actually said much more. But whoever managed to hear, managed to hear. Thank you for this presence, for bringing us back to the present today, and thank you for... There isn't, and you don't use labels that would prompt anyone to self-identify or be defined in a certain way. I'm truly grateful to you.
Thank you too. Let there be just one. It's still too many.
Thank you.